Today, we're just going to have a little bit of a closer look at the Pigg-O-Stat in itself. So, as we know, the Pigg-O-Stat is used to immobilize children. The typical age is 6 months to 2 years. That is because the child needs to be able to hold their neck up on their own individually. So, when we're looking at the Pigg-O-Stat, it has more, it's all mechanical locks and mechanisms, so there's no hydraulics, okay? We do have two different size sleeves. These are called sleeves, okay? We have these ones versus a larger size, okay? They come in a pair or a set. This, of course, would be for an older child versus a younger child for the smaller set. When we think about how to place the child in the Pigg-O-Stat, there's this little bicycle seat. And the bicycle seat, the height, of the bicycle seat can be adjusted. It's got this sort of teeth mechanism, okay? So what you can do is there's a little latch. I'll just push this right down. There's a little latch right here that you push towards, and then you can adjust the seat according to the size of the child. The sleeves themselves, when we place the child in there, it's really important that we kind of have them centered, per se, that with these sleeves wrap around equally so that the child is supported and that these sleeves meet in the middle there. There are these little red sort of tabs at the bottom, and those tabs help secure those sleeves in place. We also do have an additional Velcro strap that comes around along with the leather strap up at the top here. Keep in mind the child's arms are directly up above their head so that their face is in along there. So that is a couple of the things that we need to consider when we place the child in the Pigg-O-Stat. We also have here different markers. These are radio opaque. We have our right and our left, inspiration versus expiration, and then the upright arrow. Okay, so this is also lead shielded. So what happens is that we have the markers above the lead shield, and this provides protection to the gonads area. Okay, along the bottom here, I'm not sure if you can actually make out the numbers, but it has 0, 30, 45, and 90. And what that does is it allows us, it's like a turntable, excuse me, it allows us to turn the child, and there are brakes on this thing, just need to use them. When we are doing the PA and the lateral, we have these measurements. And so they're like a little compass or a little arrow that will indicate we're at 90 degrees. Okay, as far as trying to get that child lateral, because once we place them in here, we take the PA and then we take the lateral. And how the PA works, and you'll have to see depending on the site that you're at, but this one is designed to work with a CR cassette. So we use the smallest one, or the 18 centimeters by 24 centimeters. Along the back here, okay, I'll just turn it this way. Along the back here is the cassette holder. So that is where the cassette would go. Now, we have to be careful. This is spring loaded, okay? We can adjust the height of the cassette holder. You can actually see the spring on there. We can adjust the height of the cassette holder, but we have to be careful that it doesn't snap, okay? So, what is it? Now, this isn't used. That's why this is kind of a little bit sticky and fussy or what have you. We also take, sorry, a little mousetrap going on here. We also have this blue button here that we can pull back, and then that allows us, of course, when the child's crying and they're all upset, we're not trying to sneak this in right beside them. However, again too, when we pull this back and place that in there, we slowly, gently bring that back up into as close as we can to the child there. Okay, all right. So we have two ways of working with the cassette holder. One of them is to pull it back so we can put it on there, and the other one is to adjust the height, okay, according to the child themselves. And that's in combination with that seat here. All right. This is a really handy, useful immobilization device. You can see right now that it's very easy to center that child, okay, accordingly, per se. Their little legs have lots of room to kick, and we always want children crying. A crying child gives us great inspiration, as well as the fact, too, that when you have a child that decides to hold their breath, usually that's indicative that something is seriously wrong, okay? And I have honestly had a child who stopped breathing in this, and all I can say is you better make sure you can get them out in a real quick hurry, okay? So you want to be familiar with this. You want to, again, to Show that you are efficient with it when you have, of course, a caregiver, whether that be a parent or someone else that is helping to assist with lowering the child in. Okay, so as someone is lowering the child in, we have someone else at the bottom here who's retrieving the feet, and we're just slowly but very, purposely, we're bringing those sleeves after we've sized that child up, right? We sort of clamshell them, and yeah, here you go, let's get you in there, wiggly, and they kick and they fuss and buck and all the rest of it. But that's okay. Does it matter if we do the head strap versus the bottom first? No, but I would, you'll get strong ones. Like they can almost sort of support their weight. So if you get a real feisty one, I would do the around the head and the neck, secure that first, and then bring this in and do these as well. So you'll have lots of opportunity. There's a lot of technologists out there that have experience with this population, and they'll be able to give you many more valuable ways of approaching this, and the conversations that you have with the parents. Just don't make the assumption, though, that the individual who is with the child is the parent or necessarily a caregiver. Okay, it's just always good to start the conversation off without any assumptions. Okay, all right. So that is your Pigg-O-Stat in a little bit of a nutshell there.